to the Board of Ethics from State Office of Elections alleging that a county officer may be inappropriately involved in operations of the Hawaii County Elections Office. Also attached, the Board of Ethics 9-5 response. All right, board members, do you have any, have you had a chance to review the letters and the corresponding requests from Mr. Scott Nago for this board to initiate an investigation into this matter?
Yes, because this is a letter coming from someone off island and not a direct petition, what sort of action should we be taking?
Well, what I recommend we do, because this does involve our rules and any further proceedings that we might take on this matter will need to be clarified from our counsel. I strongly recommend that we quickly go into executive session to consult counsel regarding our powers and rules. And if we can clarify that in executive session, then we can maybe discuss it further in regular session. Need a motion to do so.
I'll move to go into executive session for the purpose of consulting with counsel.
All right, we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll briefly go into executive session and resume shortly. Thank you. 8/31/2012 to the Board of Ethics from State Office of Elections, as well as a September 5th response. After consulting with board counsel, do we have a motion to accept and file these two communications?
Second.
Okay. We have a motion to accept and file and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now, good morning, Mr. Yergon. As you all know, board members, the letter does include a request to initiate an investigation to see if there are any violations into the County of Hawaii Board of Ethics Code. And before we move on, Mr. Yergon, I think we do have some questions for you. And I guess the first question I would have is what your role is in your daughter's campaign, Mr. Gold?
I'm a father.
Nothing more than that.
Well, obviously, in helping with a campaign that includes pounding signs, going door to door, supporting her in any way I can. You know, as she goes to forums or she has activities, I be part of that as well. Probably doing just what any other father would do if their child or their spouse or their relative would be part of that.
With all your experience, I'm sure you've got a lot that you can share with her. Okay. Board members, do you guys have any questions for Mr. Yergon?
Can I ask you a quick question first of all, Mr. Chairman, if I could? Because I did look at the complaint that you folks received, and it talks about state HRS law that talks about being a precinct official. If a parent, someone that's running for office, if you have a parent that's that person would not or could not participate as a precinct official.
For the record, you're referring to HRS 11-72D?
Yeah, yes. And let me just say this for the record, I was quite surprised to see that as part of the complaint, because never in the last 3 months or last 6 months or last 52 years that I've been alive have I ever stated that I would like to be a precinct official or work as a precinct official or to work at any capacity as a precinct official. Obviously, the rule is there for a very good reason, obviously, because certainly you don't want to be put during election day at the precinct where voting is taking place to have a relative work certainly within that district or one of the precincts within that district, and not only would that be uncomfortable, I think, for the people that work there, but certainly not an appropriate thing to do. So I understand why the rule is there, and I support it wholeheartedly, but I just want to just state for the record, never have I said it privately or publicly, or anywhere within the 52 years that I've been alive, that I wanted to serve as a precinct official. So I'm not sure how that got in there, and why there's sort of an insinuation that because I'm a parent, that I would somehow become a precinct official.
I've got a question. Who hires the precinct officials?
That's all done by the county clerk's office.
The county clerk's office. And council, the entire council oversees the county clerk's office?
The county clerk's office is part of the legislative branch, but in terms of elections, in terms of hiring of people, that is totally done under the auspices of the county clerk.
So they hire all the precinct officials?
Yeah, that is correct. Most of the precinct officials that you see there are people that have been doing it for quite some time. They come back year after year, year after year after year. So most of those folks are, I think they've been hired many years ago. But again, the point I want to make is that I've never asked or requested or wanted to be part of any precinct committee. And that seems to be the gist of the complaint, so just want to make sure I say that for the record, sir.
Okay. Campaign, so, basically, other than being a father, just kind of being her #1 supporter and advisor on her political strategy and trying to help her succeed, essentially.
Well, if my daughter asked me a question, I certainly would take the time to give
With
advice.
your vast experience.
And quite frankly, there's many candidates throughout the island that call and ask for advice on issues before the county council, and it's mainly just to get a point of view. So that's not something that's unusual.
Council, for her campaign.
A legal counsel? No, it's not.
Board members, do you have any questions for Mr. O'Donnell? What's at stake here is essentially, Mr. O'Donnell is referring to it as a complaint. Just for the record, it's a correction. There is a request for this board to investigate further to see if there are any violations, specifically section 2-84 of the County of Hawaii Board of Ethics. Taking the liberty to ask board counsel to draft a resolution spelling out our rules, procedures, and a resolution which would move this board forward and schedule an investigation to look into this further to see if there are any violations of section 2-83 and 2-84 per the request of the State Office of Elections.
And Mr. Dill, could I ask you specifically what points do you see at this point in time that would warrant such a need to move forward?
The fact that we don't exactly know what your capacity is in terms of your daughter's campaign, the allegations or the potential allegations that are set forth in this letter, also your role as the county council chair and having oversight of the county clerk's office and the Office of Elections for the County of Hawaii.
And what specifically is, again, the question, what specifically within that do you see as being a conflict or something that needs to be looked into? I just want to be clear as far as why this is being moved forward.
We don't have anything specific, and we need to know more and gather a little bit more information to ensure that there are any ethical violations, or should there might be some, we need to conduct an investigation. That is my opinion.
Could I direct a question to the Corporation Council?
Could I finish first, please?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thank you. So what I'm trying to say is that we don't know, Mr. Yagong, and in order to get to the bottom of it, we would need to conduct an investigation. Right now, all we have is a request from the State Office of Elections asking us to investigate, and then there's a response from me as the chairman of this board, essentially spelling out our rules and procedures. So that's where we're at.